So there's a lot of rugby news this week. I wanted to come out with this one a bit earlier, but we had the Wales situation. England had a squad out, but we actually had the Six Nations draw, the fixtures out for 2026. And there's a few changes, a few interesting ones worth discussing. I'd love to know your opinions as always. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's going to be loads of stuff going on about the summer tours, obviously about the Lions. So do get involved in the channel, subscribe, comment. That would be amazing. But yeah, let's talk about 2026 whilst it's out here, whilst it's fresh in the mind. The first big change is the opening fixture isn't a Friday night game, it is a Thursday night game, and that is apparently because it's clashing with the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. Now, for UK and Irish fans, dare I say, no one really cares about that too much because we don't really do winter sports that much. Apologies if you're big into it and you'd be missing Ireland and France for the opening ceremony, but in France, in Italy, it's a lot bigger, and this game's involving France, so I kind of understand it, but still, I'd have been fine if they just said, look, take your pick between an opening ceremony, no actual events, and an amazing game. But anyway, a little bit weird, and it's not going to help Ireland a bit, I guess, because it means Irish fans, it's going to be harder for them to travel. So a little unnecessary, but whatever, I guess. The second change, though, is very significant. That is a scrapping of the second rest week, or the first rest week, shall we say. It is 3 games on the bounce, meaning only 1 rest week after that game, then into the final 2. And from a fan's point of view, fantastic. I'm sure it's here to stay. It saves a whole week on the rugby calendar. It creates a bigger buzz around the tournament. You don't have that lull where you have rest, 1 game rest, and it fizzles out a bit before the end. So much better, but the argument is for smaller nations, they're not too happy because it favours stronger squads. But you could say, well, that is what a stronger team is, a stronger squad, but then teams might have to rest more players. They can't play their best 23 again and again. 3 games in a row might be too much. So yeah, there's a fair argument that the smaller squads might suffer a bit, but I think overall it is a good decision. It's good for fans, good for the product, and I think it's going to be exciting to see squads rotating and see how deep these teams are. Anyway, let's get into the meat of it. Who's got the best draw? I do this every year. I do like doing it. Starting alphabetically with England. They go Wales at home, Scotland away, Ireland at home, rest, Italy away, and then France away. The positives, the opening game against Wales could be the perfect one. Intense, but on current form, they should win. Anything could happen, of course, but not a bad opening game. Also a low travel 3 weeks on the bounce, which is a new thing, and they only really need to go up to Scotland so they can stay at Pennyhill Park the whole time, a little bit more time to travel to Scotland, but very settled. Should be a really good, or hopefully a good opening 3 weeks for them. That's an underrated bonus, I think. On paper though, their hardest fixture, France, is away, but I quite like it being last, meaning it avoids a potential loss early on, dare we say, and I have to kind of go on odds on these videos. So it's a bit of extra motivation. They're going away from home, yes, but they'll know what they need to do if they're still in with the game. Yeah, Blues away, so they only have 2 home fixtures. That is a slightly downer, but overall a pretty good draw, really. I'd be very happy with this as Steve Borthwick. Then on to France. Have a look at the fixtures there on the graphic. 3 home games plus the opening game at home against Ireland. Like I mentioned, their fans might struggle to travel, so it's going to be a huge sound, as it would do anyway. And if they get through that one, they probably should go 3 from 3, or they certainly expect to go 3 from 3 going into rest week, which is a great way to do it. Then finishing at home with a chance to win the tournament, probably. That's a big bonus as well. Maybe a slightly easier opening fixture would have been better, but on the whole, pretty damn good. Then on to Ireland. Have a look at their fixtures on the side. Good positive is always 3 home games. Always good for the fans, obviously getting that home advantage, plus making a lot more money as well, with something the unions will not be lost on them. If they lose to France, though, in that opening first one, they should win the second against Italy at home. So nice to get the momentum straight back if that is the case. If they get through those opening 3 rounds, they're obviously very well placed because they have the last 2 both at home. So it kind of all hinges, I think, on that opener. England away 3rd in a row could be an interesting decision on testing squad depth, but generally Ireland have pretty good squad depth, but we'll see. That's an interesting wrinkle for next year. So summary, not ideal with a tough opener. England 3rd away could be a bit of a banana skin, so kind of a so-so draw for them. Then on to Italy, and they open up at home, which is great for them. They need to try and catch Scotland cold, but that's going to be hard. If they do lose, then the next 2 rounds are away to the next highest ranked team, so that's not great. Final game, the winnable game, the one they'll be targeting, I think that's fair to say, is Wales, even if away. So no, they have a winnable one there. And in summary, really any draw for Italy is going to be pretty tough, but at least they open up and finish at home. So that could be bookending it on a positive. And yeah, I'm sure they're going to target that Wales one. They'll need a big upset to go any further, but it's not too bad. Scotland, 3 straight games are as good as they can have it, to be honest. And it's the lowest 3 ranked teams in a row. Of course, we know in rugby anything can happen, but let's just go on the odds for now, the rankings. The highest of these, England, is at home, so that's great. And they have been kind of England's bogey team recently. Scotland, as we know, have never won the Six Nations, and we always talk about it. If they're going to do it, they need to go 3 from 3 from this opening 3, which is pretty much as good a chance as they're going to get. We've said it before, of course. 2 home games, though, a little bit of a downer. Yeah, pretty good for them, I think. Not a bad draw at all. And, of course, we're all interested in, can they finally win the Six Nations before the Finn Russell era ends? If that's actually a thing, well, it's certainly a thing for Finn Russell, I guess. Then finally on to Wales. 3 home games is something to hold on to. Obviously, we know they're on a historic low on and off the pitch, which is tricky. First game away to England, super tough, but they can raise their game against England, but they did get absolutely pumped by England in the last Six Nations. And then France could be dispiriting start, so not the greatest really. The target games can be Italy at home, but they could be 4 losses from 4 going into that, so it's a tricky one, not the best draw. They're going to have to start really fast in 2026 if they want to get anything from it. So who has the best draw? I think it's between France and England, and France's 3 home games take it for me as they get the best draw. An opening match at home is always nice. Against Ireland, obviously it's tough, but if they get through that, there is a strong possibility of back-to-back Six Nations titles. So that's my take on the draw for 2026. What is yours? Get in the comments down below. Do like to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.